This episode is about Al Green, who is an American soul singer, songwriter, best known for his smooth voice and classic hits in the early 1970s like Let's Stay Together, Tired of Being Alone, and Love and Happiness. Here's a biography of him and some known and less known facts about the artist. Albert Leorns Green was born on April 13, 1946 in Forest City, Arkansas, as the sixth of 10 children born to Coralie and sharecropper Robert G. Green, Jr. At around the age of 10, Al began performing with his siblings in a group called the Green Brothers. During the late 1950s, the Green family relocated to Grand Rapids, Michigan as part of the Great Migration. While still a teenager, Al was kicked out of the family home after his devoutly religious father caught him listening to Jackie Wilson and Elvis Presley. During this period, he moved in with a prostitute who offered him a place to stay. According to Al Green himself, this was not a romantic relationship. He was young, struggling, and desperate for shelter. The woman allowed him to stay with her, and though it was a rough and morally complex environment, it gave him temporary stability. Being forced out of his home pushed Al to pursue music professionally. He joined an R&B group, The Creations, which later became Al Green and the Soulmates, his early entry into the music industry. In 1967, the group released the single Backup Train, which became a regional hit and reached number 41 on the Billboard R&B chart. However, the group's subsequent follow-ups failed to chart, as did their debut album Backup Train from 1967. He struggled financially, taking on odd jobs and performing wherever he could. But his distinctive voice and stage presence caught the attention of producer Willie Mitchell, who signed him to High Records in Memphis. Mitchell helped refine Green's sound, a mix of gospel-rooted soul with a sensual, smooth edge. With Mitchell found his own style, and he found a partner in writing and producing hit singles too. He removed the last E of his name, becoming Al Green. However, it wasn't until his third album from 1971 that Al would have his breakthrough. It featured the hit R&B cover of The Temptations' I Can't Get Next to You, recorded in a slow blues-oriented style. The album also featured his first significant hit, Tired of Being Alone, which sold 1 million copies and was certified gold, becoming the first of 8 gold singles Green would release between 1971 and 1974. Green's next album, Let's Stay Together, January 1972, solidified his place in soul music with his smooth Memphis soul, a blend of soul, gospel, and R&B, with a smooth yet powerful delivery that captivated audiences from the start of his career. He would sometimes be called the definite soul singer. Hits like Let's Stay Together, I'm Still in Love with You, and You Ought to Be With Me made perfect sense of that title. Al Green's greatest success years span primarily from the early 1970s through the mid-1970s. He had found his style, his path, and his audience with a secular soul music, proving his father wrong. Or did he? In 1974, one life-changing event was gonna chaining his life forever. In October 1974, Al Green was involved in a shocking and traumatic event that would forever change his life. His girlfriend, Mary Woodson, whom he had been dating, attacked him by pouring boiling hot water on him while he was in his bath. This assault was followed by a tragic turn of events. After the attack, Mary Woodson committed suicide by shooting herself. The incident left Green deeply shaken and emotionally scarred. He was hospitalized with second-degree burns from the hot water, but more than the physical injuries, the emotional toll of the situation was overwhelming. This incident was incredibly traumatic for Green, and it would later be revealed in interviews that it prompted him to rethink his entire life. On June 15, 1977, Green married his first wife, Shirley Green, née Kyles, in Memphis. Originally from Chicago, she was one of his backing vocalists and an employee at his church. Together they have 3 daughters. However, Shirley first filed for divorce in 1978 on the ground of cruelty and irreconcilable differences. She filed again in 1981, charging that Green had subjected her to domestic violence throughout their marriage. Green accused her of cruel and inhuman treatment in a counter-complaint. She was not the only one who complained about Green's violent behavior. Green's former Secretary Linda Wills, filed a $25,000 civil suit against him in 1974. Wills alleged that Green beat her and shoved her through a glass door in his Memphis office after a dispute about how much back pay she was entitled to for her duties. In 1977, Green and his former organ player Larry Robinson were arrested for assault on Memorial Day in Irving, Texas. According to Robinson, Green and his bodyguards jumped him when he confronted Green about owed money from previous gigs. They both posted bond on a misdemeanor charge. In 1978, Green was yet again charged with assault and battery for allegedly beating a woman unconscious with a tree limb. The charges were dismissed after the woman, who had moved, did not receive a subpoena and therefore missed the court date. During a concert in Cincinnati, Ohio in the late 1970s, Al Green fell off the stage while performing. While he wasn't badly injured, the incident shook him emotionally. Green later said he believed the fall was a sign from God, urging him to fully dedicate himself to his calling, to leave behind secular fame and focus more deeply on his spiritual path. In 1978, he would release the Bell album. In the title track Bell, a deeply personal and spiritual song that reflects his internal struggle between secular love and divine love. Green sings, "Bell, the Lord and I have been friends for a mighty long time. Bell, leaving him has never ever really crossed my mind." He's confessing that while he loves this woman, Bell, he feels a calling from God that's even stronger, a spiritual obligation that he can't ignore. Although Green would release the 1979 album Truth and Time, he decided to retire from secular music and become a reverend. It transformed him from a mainstream soul superstar into a committed Christian minister and gospel artist. This awakening was not just a change in belief. It was a full redirection of his identity, values, and artistic purpose. 1980, he released the gospel album, The Lord Will Make a Way. Maybe his father was right after all, or at least Al Green was a changed man from now on. By the early 80s, Green was fully committed to his role as a pastor at Full Gospel Tabernacle Church in Memphis, Tennessee, a church he founded and still leads. He would eventually return to secular music in 1988, but with age and changing musical trends, he was no longer a soul superstar nor hit machine. In 2008, he released his latest album to date, Lay It Down, produced by Amir Questlove Thompson, and featuring guest vocals from Anthony Hamilton, John Legend, and Corinne Bailey Rae. Green was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. He received a Lifetime Achievement Grammy in 2002, and his influence continued to grow, as artists like Prince, D'Angelo, Maxwell, and John Legend cited him as a major inspiration. As of 2025, he's still alive, generally considered one of the greatest soul singers of all time, and he's still a pastor.